Alright, cool. Wow, we have the legendary Keith Arem. He's in his studio. I don't know if you can really see this, but the man has a giant monitor in the back. It just looks so cool, right? Just so cool and professional. He's a legendary director. He directed almost every game that you can ever think of, like Call of Duty, even Transformers: The Fall of Cybertron, which I was kind of shocked. And then on top of that, you have him doing Sleeping Dogs, which is, of course, the biggest hit right now. I mean, and then, you know, like I said, Fall of Cybertron. So please, you gotta give us, you know, tell us a little bit about yourself and this legendary status that you're building.
Awesome. So yeah, we've been having a blast. It's been an amazing decade for us. I have been just working on some great titles, some great teams, and the projects are all coming out and doing really well. This past week, on the top of the charts, especially like in the UK and the US, it's been Sleeping Dogs and Fall of Cybertron with Transformers. Spider-Man had just come out. Ghost Recon had just come out. We've been doing stuff with Saints Row, and obviously last year Modern Warfare 3 came out, and we're in the middle of Black Ops 2 right now. So it's been just an amazing year for us.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's the crazy part. I'm sitting here and I'm trying to, you know, gather research on you, right? And me and my friend was like, oh my God, we almost played every single game this guy has directed or been a part of. I mean, your track record is amazing. I mean, I don't want to overpraise you, but I mean, this is just what I'm seeing. If you weren't a director, you were a producer. If you weren't a producer, you were part of the sound. And almost every single game we saw was a hit. So, I mean, how do you achieve such a goal? Like,
I think the number one thing is that, you know, I love what I do, and I've got great people around me that also love what they do. And so when you're doing something that you love, it's not work, and you don't mind putting in the hours because it's something that you would do for free. You know, don't tell my clients that, but you know, but that's the thing, is that, you know, we're doing such great stuff, and when you see the games, and you want people working with you that love what they do, and if you're really passionate about it, you'll just, you know, do something that's great. And we thrive on being efficient and being really creative and working with great people. So when you're surrounding yourself with great people and everyone is sort of at the top of their game, it just sort of comes very naturally. And we're all gamers, and we all sort of love these worlds that we're playing with, and that spills into every part of our lives, and we're constantly creating stuff. And, you know, I'm doing my graphic novels and moving into films, and these games are a cornerstone of what we've been doing because it's just such a passion for us. And I've been having a blast. It's been great.
And see, that's the thing, you know, seeing with the success of, you know, how you've been with video games, now that you saying you have the graphic novel and you're moving your films into films, you think you can make that transition? I mean, you know, being tied, it seems to me it's like how a movie director would, you know, do movies all his life, like Steven Spielberg, and decide to say, hey, I want to start making video games. I mean, that transition, you think, you know, it can flow easy?
You know, I don't think that, I think it really comes from what your creative ambitions are and where you kind of see yourself going. For me, when I look at what a director does or what a creator does, for me that vision doesn't stop in just one medium. You know, if you're going to tell a story, that might be great for mobile, that might be great for an ARG, it might be great for a graphic novel, it may be great for a video game or an iPad, or it might be great for cinema. So for me, it's all about good storytelling and great characters and these worlds. And I think what's interesting about coming out from the game world is that we're used to building these universes that are pretty large, that, you know, the amount of gameplay for a single player campaign or multiplayer campaign can be, you know, dozens of hours. And if you're talking about that much content, compared to a film of 90 minutes, a film is a linear experience where you're just watching something and you're emotionally invested in these characters and you're sort of empathizing and watching these characters go through this stuff, and you sort of have that suspension of disbelief where you're imagining you're in that world. In games, you are in that world and you are controlling those characters and doing everything. So the transition from us moving from games into films is really taking these enormous worlds that we're designing and designing to have that experience in a film and be able to experience it there, but at the same time the creator in me wants to be able to also see what the backstory is and explore that through the graphic novel, or see it as a mobile experience and be able to communicate socially with your friends, or being able to have an ARG and having a real world experience and having people, you know, really experience that as an alternate reality game. So my feeling is that as a director, up at being a game or a film, it's going to be this whole transmedia experience, and I think that's really the next generation of storytellers.
And I mean, looking at what you've done and you know, the execution of each thing, I mean, I think it might be safe to say that you might be the James Cameron of video games. Like, you know, just to, you know, point that out. Now, specifically, Sleeping Dogs. This is a game that was formerly that was going to be True Crimes, but I mean, you know, we know the history about that. But now, you know, with the success of Sleeping Dogs and you seeing the execution, I mean, of course, we attribute the whole team, but we have to give the biggest credit to you, because I believe in almost anything, the director holds the keys to the success of a project. So you have to tell us, especially with Sleeping Dogs, how did you feel working with that game?
The team, it's been an amazing story on Sleeping Dogs, because I got involved with it twice when it was originally True Crime. I had been off the project 4 years ago when it was still True Crime over at Activision, and we, in a tragic story, we had a huge fire here and we lost our studios right after that offer, and we lost the project. And about 2 years later, the project came around, it was still in development, and they asked me to come in, get involved, and sort of retool the game. And a few months after that, the game was still in development, and that's when Activision had changed direction and the project left Activision. And the team had reached out to me and really had seen a lot of the stuff that we were doing and changing the game, and asked if I would come in and direct the project with them. And mind you, my involvement is as a talent director or as a performance director is working with all the celebrities, working with all the actors, and bringing all the scenes to life. We have amazing animation and technical and creative directors internally, and Jeff and Justin and everyone from the team really made the project what it is. My contribution as a director is really bringing those performances and taking this sort of world of like an Infernal Affairs and bringing this into this experience you could experience as a game. And it was fantastic. We were just so happy that we were able to take this project that we all believed in and just kept working on it, even when there was no money or any, you know, time left to work on it, and just do anything we could to be able to really develop it. And it just grew and grew and built and built, and all the actors and the team and everyone did such a fantastic job that it really came together. And you know, it's interesting to go and then see the final product and actually see all the combination of all of our efforts going together, and then see the audience react to it and it do so well. And so for me, I'm just very proud just to be part of it, and we're excited to do anything we can to continue that franchise.
And that's why I can say, I'm gonna say, go off and say that Activision might be suffering from the original the Red Sox curse of trading Babe Ruth, because that's what Sleeping Dogs has become. I mean, it's become a game that just came out of nowhere. I mean, you know, it got revitalized, came out of nowhere, and did something great in gaming. That's why I appreciate Sleeping Dogs. Now,
yeah, real fresh.
Now, as far as you know, talent director, we seen Emily Stone, Lucy Liu. So you got to work with them personally, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, I you know, one of the first sessions I did, I was out in London with Tom Wilkinson, and did all of, you know, Pendra's dialogue, and we tried to do most of the dialogue as a cast record. So whenever possible, what we've done is we've developed these new techniques where we get all the actors together and we actually do it as a full cast. And what we would do is actually bring the actors all in a room. Actually, I worked with a lot of Jim Cameron's guys who worked on Avatar and used some of their technology to develop these unique headsets for us, so we could actually be able to develop new techniques to be able to do stuff. I think you're seeing some...
I was just about to say, I'm listening to you, but then I got distracted because it looked like Hulk Hogan's choking you out. I don't know if you guys can see that, but yeah.
This is working on Saints Row last year, and so these headsets that you're seeing is what I'm talking about. So we developed these new headsets, And what these allow us to do is basically have the actors perform together as a group. And Sasha, so we did all the recordings. Same thing for Saints Row and Sleeping Dogs. We did this all as a combination of what we call vocap and also what we do on the mocap stage. So we'll actually have all the actors record here at our studios, and then we'll also go on location on set, and we'll do all the recordings there. And that's how we did Sleeping Dogs, and that's how we did Saints Row. That's how we did Ghost Recon this year, and we've done a number of other new projects that are coming out. They're all going to use the same stuff.
Were you involved in that live action project? That the live action Sleeping Dogs promo?
No, not. Unfortunately, a little bit. We did some of the dialogue on it, but the shoot was done actually up in Canada. And those guys...
Really? Canada?
Yeah, they did some location stuff in Hong Kong as well when I was there, because we did a lot of the dialogue. I went to Hong Kong and to Korea, and we did a lot of the recordings there. But they were actually using another crew to do that, which was fantastic. They did a great job, and we'd really like to get involved in doing a live-action version of the film.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I mean, when I saw that trailer, it was so... you know, it's funny, because... when I like a game, I try not to look at too many trailers on the game because I don't want any spoilers, especially being in the industry the way I am. But so I didn't get to see the trailer until after I reviewed the game, and when I saw it, I was like blown away because it was so accurate to how the game actually plays, which is kind of different. It's a true representation. But I mean, to get back on track, I mean, you know, I have to ask you, because I told you, when looking through your great history, there was one thing I saw that made me like, I can't believe he was a part of that, and that was the suffering ties that bind. You don't understand. I've actually done videos talking about the suffering, and I wish that my hope is that one day they either make a reboot of the series or a new story arc. But that was a great story.
It was a fantastic project, very scary, and especially for the time that we did it, it was great. And having that team involved and having that caliber of talent working on that, it was just a really creepy project. And we had a blast working on it, and it was amazing that it resonated because it didn't have a lot of history when we first came out with it. And the fact that it did so well and so many people responded to it. So it's been one of the projects that people still come up to me, and you know, we're signing at conventions and people are still asking us about that project.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. Now, I mean, the other thing that comes with, you know, there's, you know, the big difference between movies and video games. I feel that with video games, you actually have more freedom to be unique. Whereas when it comes to movies, they have to go with something that's a guarantee as of late. No, it seems like the movie industry is afraid to come up with original ideas because they feel like sometimes, you know, they don't want to risk not making enough money off an original idea. You know, you being as a director, do you love, I mean, especially the fact that you transition into movies, but do you love the fact that at least you have that creative control, and do you feel like you might sacrifice a little bit of that creative control by going into movies?
I don't think so. I think that you know, the change, you know, for my evolution as a director working into films is actually going to be really an exciting time for the industry, because right now you're seeing new distribution models, and you're seeing you know, first-time directors and all these creators able to take these original ideas and seeding new technologies and new ideas that are going out into films and these other worlds. And you know, whereas so many of the films have been rebooting franchises that have been around for 20, 30 years, the game industry, everything that's in the top 10 is all original, and all even the games that are based on film franchises are still unique stories that are not necessarily tied. And I think that you're seeing creators like myself and directors that are finding this ability to show what they're doing and now transition into doing films. So for me as a director, I'm excited that we're going to be taking original properties and being able to tell them in a variety of different mediums all at the same time. So when the film comes out, there will be the game, there will be the graphic novel, and all these other elements. And I can have a creative hand in that, as opposed to being shackled and tied by a franchise that has so much history that creative people are only allowed to work on one part of it.
Do you? Is there anything else or any upcoming projects that you would like to share with us? I mean, I pretty much know it's going to be a hit. So, I mean, I can't wait to play. I don't even know what it is.
The games that I'm going to be doing this year, and I wish I could talk about them, because they are phenomenal. There's about 6 titles that I'm going to be focusing on directing this year, and I am equally excited about all of them. And they're so unique and so different from each other. And so in the game space, we're going to be doing some really exciting stuff. And the nice thing is we're really pushing the technology. We're really pushing the way that we develop everything and the platforms and how they're for those games. The content is great. The performers and the actors that we have are amazing. And so what's great about all of that is that helps kind of show what I can do as a director and as a creator. And I have my original properties that are coming out. And I've got INfex, which is the new iOS book that I just recently launched at Comic-Con. And it basically is our graphic novel INfex. It came out about a year ago, now fully as a digital interactive graphic novel. And what we're doing with that is that the whole book you can now download with the first phase that comes for free as a motion comic. And then as you go into the book, it allows you to go panel by panel and actually explore the entire graphic novel, but each panel becomes its own story. And we have music, and we have sound effects, and we have dialogue, we have celebrities, we've got Lance Henriksen and Michael Wincott and William Fichtner and all these great actors that we've worked with in all the games. All the top actors from Call of Duty and Sleeping Dogs and everybody else were part of it. And great artwork. And it's something that you can just download and experience a graphic novel. And instead of just seeing a scan of a comic book, you're actually getting to interact with this book. And it's a whole new generation of graphic novels.
Is this,
so,
oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. And so that's going to be basically, I think, one of the steps of us being able to show what we can do is, as a creator and as a director, I'm excited because I can actually take all this technology, take an original idea, and put it out there in a new medium that hasn't been explored yet.
So is this graphic novel available as we speak right now?
Yeah, it's called INfex, INfex. And it's available on the App Store right now. And the book is basically coming out in phases. So phase 1 is available right now. We're just about to release phase 2. And we have some really exciting surprises coming up for iOS 6 that's going to be coming out hopefully in about a month here. And when iOS 6 launches, we're going to have a new phase of INfex that's going to launch, and it's going to have all these new features that are going to be on the iPad and how we integrate with all the new features for that. So we're really excited to kind of show people what we can do. And that's outside of films and outside of games and outside of books. It's this whole new medium that we're excited to explore. And for me as a director, I'm just over the moon because I get to work with all of the greatest people in the industry in this new medium that hasn't been explored.
Man, so before we wrap go, is there anything that you would like to share with us that you have not?
Wow, it's going to be an exciting year. I mean, definitely, check back. We've got our website, which is pcbproductions.com, and we're going to be announcing a whole bunch of new stuff. We just actually expanded our studios here. We have 5 new stages. The movies that I'm going to be working on are going to be announced later this year. This graphic novel is going to have some new things that are going to be coming out, and we're about to make some really interesting alliances with some people in the game industry that I think everyone's going to be really excited about. So in the next 2 to 3 months, there's going to be a lot of announcements that I think people will be very surprised about. So that, and then obviously on November 13th, we've got Call of Duty Black Ops 2 coming out, and it's going to be just an amazing year and a great roller coaster for everybody.
Well, I'm going to say this. I trust you to make the video game of my life. So, like, you're just that good, man. But, wrapping this up, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this interview, just take a second to clap and do an IMDb search on him so you can know why you're clapping if you didn't know already off the name alone, because this guy is truly, like I said, the James Cameron of video games. All right, you rock, man.
Thank you very much. And if you want a little secret treat for your viewers, go to Twitter/InGenBio, and you'll get a little secret story that's going on that's kind of a precursor of some stuff to come.
Oh, so, exclusive.
Take a look.
All right.
So, thank you very much. I appreciate it. It was great to talk with you this morning.
All right.
Do it again. This is how it goes.